Chapter 5. The double life weighs heavy. Months passed, and the weight of the double life began to crush Nina. Pretending to be Lina was becoming harder every day. Lina had her own history, her own friends, her own habits. People would ask Nina questions about things she had never done, places she had never been, people she didn't know. She had to lie constantly, make up answers, or stay silent and hope they thought she was just being quiet. And then there was the diary. Pages of silence had become not just a hobby, but her lifeline and her burden. She wrote about everything: her fear of being discovered, her guilt over the lie, her confusion about Ethan, and most of all, her deep, overwhelming love for him. Every entry was filled with feelings she couldn't say out loud. And she knew Ethan read every single word. She could tell by the way he looked at her after she posted something sad, softer, more protective, more tender. She could tell by the way he would leave books on her desk that matched exactly what she had written about needing. He was listening to her heart through the screen, even while she sat right next to him. One afternoon, the breaking point came. A group of Lina's old friends came to visit. They were loud, superficial, talking about parties, shopping, and gossip. Nina tried her best to keep up, to laugh at jokes she didn't understand, to pretend she belonged. "God, Lina," one of them said, looking at her strangely. "You've gotten so boring lately. You never go out anymore. You never say anything fun. It's like you're a completely different person." Nina froze, panic rising in her chest. They knew. They were noticing. Ethan, who had been working nearby, stepped in immediately. He put his arm firmly around Nina's waist, pulling her close. "My wife has grown up," he said coolly, his voice sharp and authoritative. "She has become thoughtful, intelligent, and interesting. If you find that boring, perhaps you are the ones who haven't grown enough to keep up." The friends fell silent, shocked, and quickly made their excuses to leave. When they were gone, Nina sank onto the sofa, tears spilling over. "I can't do this anymore, Ethan," she sobbed. "I can't be her. I'm not her. I never was. Everyone notices. I'm going to get caught. I'm going to ruin everything. And the worst part, I'm lying to you. About who I am. About the most important part of me." Ethan knelt before her, wiping her tears gently. "Shish. I know, my love. I know how heavy it is. I have to tell you," Nina said, breathing hard, her decision made. "I have to show you. I can't keep hiding it." She stood up and ran to her desk, opening her laptop. She pulled up the website, Pages of Silence. She turned the screen to face him. "This is me," she whispered, terrified and relieved all at once. "Every word, every thought, every secret fear and every secret hope. It's all mine. I wrote it all. I'm the one you've been reading. I'm the one you fell in love with online." She covered her face, waiting for shock, for anger, for realization. But instead, Ethan gently pulled her hands away from her face. He was smiling, not surprised, not shocked, just full of love. "I know, Nina," he said softly. "I have known since the first week we were married. I recognized the way you describe the rain. I recognized your love for old poetry. I recognized your fear of being invisible." He stood up and pulled her into a tight embrace. "I didn't fall in love with a mystery writer. I fell in love with you. The whole, complicated, wonderful you. The girl who hides behind a pen name and behind her sister's name. The girl who has the most beautiful soul I have ever known." Chapter 6. Written in the Stars. Now that the biggest secret was out, everything changed, and everything stayed the same. The weight lifted from Nina's shoulders instantly. She no longer had to hide her writing. She could talk about it. She could share her thoughts freely. Ethan was fascinated by every part of it. He asked questions about why she wrote certain things, what inspired her, what she planned to write next. "You know," Ethan said one evening, sitting side by side with her in the library, looking through old printed copies of her entries, "I think I fell in love with you in stages. First, I loved your mind. Then, I loved your heart. Then, I loved your voice. And finally, I loved your face." He turned to her, his expression serious and tender. "When I found out I was being forced to marry Lina, I was furious. But then I discovered the connection, that Lina had a twin sister. Quiet Nina. Bookish Nina. The one who lived exactly the kind of life my writer described. I started hoping. I started dreaming it could be you." He took her hand and kissed her fingers. "When you walked down that aisle, I knew instantly. The way you held your bouquet. The way you looked at the floor. The way you breathed. It was her. It was you. And I thanked every star in the sky that your sister ran away and gave me the chance to have you instead." Nina laughed softly, tears in her eyes. "So you planned it. You knew it might happen." "I hoped," Ethan corrected. "I hoped destiny would be kind to me. And it was. But one problem remained, Lina. The real sister. The runaway bride. She was still out there, somewhere, living her life, leaving Nina to clean up the mess. And as long as Nina was pretending to be her, her own identity was erased." "Do you ever wish I was her?" Nina asked quietly one night. "Easier. Louder. Less complicated." Ethan pulled her close, wrapping his arms around her, resting his chin on top of her head. "Never. If you were Lina, I never would have read your diary. I never would have known your soul. I never would have fallen in love. I would have been stuck in a cold marriage with a stranger who never understood me." He pulled back to look her in the eye. "You were complicated, Nina. You were quiet. You were sensitive. You see things others miss. You feel things others ignore. And those are the exact reasons I love you. You were my favorite story. The one I never want to finish reading." He reached over to the small table and picked up her leather diary, the physical one she kept alongside the online version. "Every word you write is a gift to me. Whether it's online, or spoken, or just written here, it's the language of the woman I want to spend my life with." Nina realized then that she wasn't just a substitute bride anymore. She wasn't just a secret writer. She was his wife. Chosen, loved, and cherished completely. And for the first time, she started writing something new in her diary, not about fear or loneliness, but about love. "I thought I was stepping into someone else's life. But I found my own. I thought I was hiding. But he found me. And now, I never want to be invisible again."